Admiral Helena Richardson stood at the viewport of Earth's orbital defense station, her weathered hands clasped behind her back as she watched the distant stars. For 15 years, humanity had maintained an uneasy peace with the Nexus Empire, enduring their condescension and thinly veiled threats. But today, everything would change. The holographic display behind her flickered to life, showing the face of her second-in-command, Commander Marcus Way. "Admiral, we've confirmed it. The Nexus have taken Isabella. Their ships breached our outer defense grid using some kind of cloaking technology we've never seen before." Helena's jaw tightened, but her voice remained steady. "My daughter. They took my daughter to prove a point." She turned from the viewport, her green eyes harder than steel. Isabella was barely 16, a brilliant young mind who dreamed of following in her mother's footsteps. Now she was in the hands of an empire that viewed humanity as little more than an amusing primitive species. Within hours, the Nexus Empire broadcast their message across every communication channel on Earth. High Chancellor Vrax, his crystalline form shimmering with barely contained arrogance, announced that Isabella Richardson would serve as an honored guest in the Empire's capital. The message was clear. Earth's most decorated military leader could do nothing to protect her own child. The response from Earth's nations was immediate and unprecedented. Ancient rivalries were set aside as humanity united against a common threat. In Beijing, Moscow, Washington, and every other capital, leaders gathered in emergency sessions. The Nexus Empire had made a crucial miscalculation. They believed this show of force would cow humanity into submission. Helena worked tirelessly, coordinating with Earth's best military minds to formulate a response. The Nexus had superior technology and centuries of interstellar dominance, but they had never faced a species with humanity's determination and capacity for innovation. In her private quarters, Helena reviewed the intelligence reports. The Nexus Empire, for all its power, had grown complacent. Their defenses were formidable but predictable. Their leaders, secure in their supposed superiority, had never imagined that humanity might strike back. "They think we're primitive," Helena addressed the assembled military council. "They expect us to beg for mercy or launch a futile emotional response. Instead, we'll show them exactly what humanity is capable of when pushed too far." Teams of scientists and engineers worked around the clock, reverse engineering captured Nexus technology, and developing countermeasures. Special forces underwent intensive training for zero-gravity combat and alien environments. Every available resource was directed toward a single goal, making the Nexus Empire regret their arrogance. 3 weeks after Isabella's abduction, High Chancellor Vrax sent another message. This time, he showed Isabella in their capital, dressed in Nexus finery but with fear evident in her eyes. "See how we can civilize even the most primitive species," Vrax declared, his crystalline form pulsing with smug satisfaction. Helena watched the broadcast with the same steel-eyed composure she was known for, but those close to her saw something change. The calculation in her eyes wasn't just tactical anymore, it was personal. The Nexus Empire had taken her daughter to demonstrate humanity's weakness. Instead, they had given humanity's greatest military mind the ultimate reason to unleash their full potential. As Earth's forces mobilized in secret, Helena made a private recording for her daughter. "Isabella, if you see this, know that we're coming. The Nexus think they've proven our weakness, but they've only revealed their own. They don't understand what humans are capable of when we stand together. They don't understand what a mother will do to protect her child, but they're going to learn." The first phase of Earth's response was already in motion. Sleeper agents, disguised as commercial vessels, were positioning themselves throughout Nexus space. Advanced AI systems were probing the Empire's networks, gathering intelligence and planting the seeds of chaos. Humanity's newest weapons, developed in secret over years of preparation for this possibility, were being deployed to strategic locations. High Chancellor Vrax and his empire had made a fatal mistake. They had chosen Admiral Helena Richardson's daughter to make their point, never realizing they had just given humanity's finest strategist the perfect reason to unleash a plan years in the making. The Nexus Empire was about to learn that humanity's perceived weakness, their emotions, their connections to each other, was actually their greatest strength. As the pieces fell into place, Helena stood once again at the viewport, watching the stars. This time, her expression held something new, the faintest smile of absolute certainty. The Nexus Empire had started this conflict by underestimating humanity. They would end it by understanding exactly what humanity was capable of. Earth's response to Isabella's abduction transformed the planet. Military bases hummed with activity as soldiers trained for zero-gravity combat. Research facilities worked overtime, perfecting weapons designed to penetrate Nexus shields. The planet's greatest minds collaborated across borders that no longer held meaning. Commander Marcus Way coordinated the global defense network from Beijing's underground command center. The Nexus ships are maintaining their patrol patterns, he reported to Admiral Richardson. They still think we're too primitive to pose a real threat. Helena studied the holographic display showing Nexus fleet movements. Their overconfidence was their weakness. They hadn't even increased security after taking Isabella. How are the stealth modifications progressing? Dr. Yuki Tanaka's team has successfully adapted the Nexus cloaking technology. We can mask our energy signatures completely. They won't see us coming until it's too late. The preparations extended beyond military might. Earth's quantum computing networks had been reprogrammed to crack Nexus encryption. Industrial facilities retooled to produce advanced weaponry. Even civilian infrastructure was being hardened against potential retaliation. In India's cybersecurity hub, Lieutenant Priya Patel led a team of hackers probing Nexus networks. They discovered critical vulnerabilities. The Empire's overconfidence extended to their digital defenses. They never expected us to understand their technology, Priya reported. We've mapped their entire command and control structure. High Chancellor Vrax continued his propaganda broadcasts, showing Isabella at Imperial functions, using her as a symbol of humanity's domestication. Each transmission strengthened Earth's resolve. The Nexus Empire thought they were showcasing their power. Instead, they were revealing their vulnerabilities. The African Union's Advanced Robotics Division, led by Dr. Kwame Osi, perfected autonomous combat drones designed specifically for Nexus environments. Their crystalline biology makes them susceptible to certain frequencies, he explained. These drones can disrupt their neural networks without damaging their infrastructure. Helena allowed herself a moment of pride as she reviewed Earth's transformation. Humanity had achieved in weeks what might have taken decades without the catalyst of Isabella's abduction. The Nexus Empire had intended to demonstrate humanity's weakness. Instead, they had forced humanity to realize its full potential. The final phase of preparation began as Special Forces teams conducted covert missions in Nexus space, gathering intelligence and positioning assets. Captain Sofia Rodriguez led these dangerous operations, her teams moving invisible through enemy territory. The Nexus are creatures of habit, she reported. Their security protocols haven't changed in centuries. As Earth's forces reached combat readiness, Helena received another transmission from High Chancellor Vrax. Your silence is wise. He gloated, his crystalline form shimmering. Accept your place in our empire, and your daughter will continue to enjoy our hospitality. Helena's response was measured, calculated to reinforce the Nexus Empire's false sense of security. We understand our position, Chancellor. The words tasted bitter, but they served their purpose. Vrax's smug satisfaction was evident as the transmission ended. In her private quarters, Helena reviewed the final battle plans. Earth's response would be precisely coordinated. A symphony of military might, technological innovation, and human determination. The Nexus Empire had no concept of what they had awakened. Send the signal, Helena ordered. All forces, commence Operation Starfall. Across the planet, humanity's defenders moved into position. The hour of reckoning approached, and Earth would show the galaxy that taking Admiral Richardson's daughter was the last mistake the Nexus Empire would ever make. Operation Starfall began with perfect synchronization. Earth's cloaked vessels slipped through Nexus space, undetected by the Empire's supposedly impenetrable sensor networks. Admiral Richardson watched from her command ship, the Nemesis, as humanity's vengeance took shape. The first strike targeted the Nexus Empire's communication relays. Lieutenant Priya Patel's cyber warfare team initiated their attack, flooding Nexus networks with carefully crafted viruses. Within minutes, confusion spread through enemy ranks as their crystal tech systems failed. Commander Wade led the assault on the Empire's outer defense platforms. Earth's ships emerged from stealth, their new quantum weapons shattering Nexus shields. Multiple targets neutralized, Wade reported. Their response is disorganized. They never expected this level of sophistication. Dr. OC's combat drones swarmed through disabled Nexus installations, their disruptive frequencies causing chaos among the crystalline defenders. Captain Rodriguez's Special Forces teams followed, securing strategic positions with practiced efficiency. The Empire's forces, accustomed to fighting with overwhelming technological superiority, found themselves outmaneuvered at every turn. High Chancellor Vrax's frantic transmissions revealed growing panic. "This is impossible." His crystalline form flickered erratically. "You're nothing but primitives." Helena allowed herself a grim smile as she watched his composure crack. The Nemesis pushed deeper into Nexus space, its advanced stealth systems rendering it invisible until the moment it struck. Each engagement proved the effectiveness of Earth's preparations. The Empire's ships, despite their superior technology, fell before humanity's coordinated assault. Isabella's location had been confirmed. She was being held in the Imperial Palace on the Nexus capital world. As Earth's forces carved a path through the Empire's defenses, Helena maintained absolute focus. Every move was calculated, every strike precise. This wasn't just about rescue. It was about showing the galaxy that humanity would no longer tolerate being underestimated. The Nexus Empire's military response grew increasingly desperate. Their ships, designed for overwhelming force, proved vulnerable to Earth's adaptive tactics. Humanity's smaller, more agile vessels danced through their formations, striking critical systems with surgical precision. As Operation Starfall entered its final phase, Helena transmitted a message to all Earth forces: remember why we fight. Remember what they took from us. Today, we show them the true strength of humanity. The response was immediate. A surge of coordinated attacks that shattered the last of the Empire's outer defenses. The path to the capital world lay open, and humanity's vengeance would not be denied. High Chancellor Vrax's final transmission betrayed his terror as he realized the true magnitude of his mistake. The empire that had dismissed humanity as primitive was about to learn the cost of their fatal error. Earth's forces breached the Nexus capital world's defenses with devastating precision. The Nemesis led the assault, its advanced weapon systems cutting through the last desperate lines of Imperial defense. Admiral Richardson stood at the command center, coordinating the final phase of humanity's response. The Imperial Palace loomed before them, its crystalline spires reflecting the chaos of battle. Captain Rodriguez's Special Forces teams had already infiltrated the lower levels, their specialized equipment disrupting the palace's security systems. "We've located Isabella," Rodriguez reported. "Upper chambers, heavily guarded. But we have a clear path." High Chancellor Vrax had barricaded himself in the throne room, surrounded by his elite guard. His final broadcast showed increasing instability, his crystalline form fracturing under the stress of impending defeat. The empire that had deemed humanity primitive now faced extinction at their hands. Dr. OC's drones swept through the palace corridors, their disruptive frequencies shattering any resistance. Lieutenant Patel's cyber warfare team had complete control of the palace systems, turning the Empire's own security measures against them. Commander Wei's forces maintained a perimeter, ensuring no escape for the Imperial leadership. Helena led the final assault personally, her determination evident in every calculated move. The elite guard's crystal weapons proved useless against Earth's advanced shielding. Years of dismissing humanity as inferior had left the Nexus Empire unprepared for the sophistication of their attack. They found Isabella in a gilded chamber, unharmed but changed by her captivity. The reunion between mother and daughter was brief. There would be time for emotions later. First, they had to end this decisively, ensuring the Empire would never threaten humanity again. The throne room doors shattered under concentrated fire. High Chancellor Vrax, his crystalline form now a chaotic mass of fractured light, faced humanity's vengeance. "How?" he demanded, his voice distorted by fear. "You were nothing but primitives." Helena's response was cold and precise. "You mistook our restraint for weakness. You thought taking my daughter would prove your superiority. Instead, you proved your ignorance. Humanity isn't primitive, Chancellor. We're patient, we're adaptable, and when threatened, we're unstoppable." The battle ended not with a grand explosion, but with the quiet sound of crystal shattering. Vrax's form collapsed, unable to maintain cohesion under the specific frequencies Earth's weapons emitted. The empire that had stood for millennia fell in a matter of hours, undone by their own fatal arrogance. As Earth's forces secured the capital, Helena held her daughter close, finally allowing herself to feel the relief of success. The Nexus Empire had sought to demonstrate humanity's weakness. Instead, they had revealed their own. And the galaxy would never be the same. The aftermath of the Nexus Empire's fall reshaped galactic politics. Earth emerged not just victorious, but as a respected power that other civilizations approached with newfound caution. Admiral Richardson oversaw the transition, ensuring humanity's rise wouldn't mirror the Empire's fatal arrogance. Isabella's experience became a catalyst for change. Her insights into Nexus technology and culture proved invaluable as Earth established its position in the galactic community. The trauma of her captivity transformed into strength, much like humanity's own evolution from perceived primitive species to formidable force. The Empire's former territories sought alliance with Earth, impressed by the efficiency and precision of Operation Starfall. Commander Wee led diplomatic missions, establishing relationships based on mutual respect rather than intimidation. Lieutenant Patel's team transformed their cyber warfare capabilities into a galactic defense network, protecting allied worlds from emerging threats. Dr. Osi's technological innovations revolutionized interstellar travel and defense. Captain Rodriguez trained a new generation of special forces, preparing for future challenges while hoping they'd never be needed. The lessons of the Nexus conflict weren't forgotten. Humanity remained vigilant, but never fell into the trap of overconfidence that had doomed their former oppressors. Helena found a different kind of victory in the quiet moments with Isabella, watching her daughter recover and grow stronger. The galaxy had learned that humanity's greatest strength wasn't their weapons or technology, but their capacity to unite and evolve when faced with adversity. The remnants of the Nexus Empire's crystalline technology were studied and integrated, not as symbols of dominance, but as tools for progress. Earth's leadership remembered the price of arrogance and chose a different path: strength tempered by wisdom, power balanced with restraint. As new challenges emerged in the post-Nexus galaxy, humanity faced them with the same determination that had brought down an empire. The stars that had once seemed to limit their reach now beckoned with possibility. Earth had proven itself not just capable of defending its own, but worthy of its place among the cosmos. The galaxy would long remember the lesson of the Nexus Empire's fall. Never mistake patience for weakness, restraint for primitiveness, or a parent's love for vulnerability. Humanity had entered the galactic stage, not as conquerors, but as guardians of a hard-won peace, ready to face whatever challenges the future might bring.